Hello and welcome into another episode of The Useless Chef. Not quite sure which episode this is, 5 or 6, something like that. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been with you. I do apologise, having some technical issues with my laptop. It's dying a slow and painful death, so it's hard to get these videos on there and edit them. So apologies for that. But I am going to make it up to you today because I am making my signature dish. Now, for those of you that know what that is, you've just celebrated a little bit, because for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a corker. It's a real corker. It's the wife's #1 favourite meal. It's my favourite meal, and if you've ever been skiing in Austria, you've probably had it. It's an Austrian dish. It's called Gröstl, or as you've probably seen it in the mountains, it's Gröstl, which basically is a sauce frying pan full of pig. That's the best way of describing it. There's pork and bacon and sausage. It's amazing. It's a really nice dish. But yeah, it's called Gröstl, so we're going to get into that today. The girls and my wife and her friends, they call it herbal gerbil, because they can't pronounce Gröstl, or they can't get that down. So herbal gerbil works fine as well. It's got some herbs in it, so you'll see that in a bit as well. But yeah, that's basically what it is. It's pig in a frying pan, and it's absolutely amazing. Apologies for the state of my hair. It's isolation, and I don't trust the wifey enough to cut it. She did cut my son's hair, and that's why I'm growing it. Sorry, wifey, love you. No, it's yes, it's getting the best of me, but who knows? In a couple of months' time, I could have some sort of shoulder-length locks going on with a man bun. How about that? A man bun for the Useless Chef? Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, this is Gröstl. Enjoy it. It's like I said, it's our favourite meal in this household, and it's a winner. You'll like this. Okay, like I said in the intro there, this is basically this is pig in a dish. Is what I like to say anyway. So it's all different varieties of pig, of pork. So pork sausages is a must for this dish. Some bacon, pork loin medallions or pork chops work just as well, and ham. So with the ham, I don't usually get packaged ham like this. This is the best I can get, but because we're in unprecedented times at the moment, usually what I'd do is I'd go to Tesco's, go to the meat counter, and get a couple of slices of cooked ham, and I'll get it sort of, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch thick. Usually one of the biggest settings on their cutting machines, I think it's like a 5 if my memory serves me correctly. So I go in there and ask for sort of the thickest cut of cooked ham, and I'll use that instead, and I'll dice that up. So yeah, that's what we're going to do with the meat. We're literally going to dice as much as we want, stick it in a mixing bowl, ready to cook on the frying pan, and that's it for the meat. Now, what we're going to do with that is we're gonna fry some potatoes as well. That's the first thing we're going to do today. Is we're going to peel some potatoes, dice them, parboil them, which, for anyone that doesn't know what parboil means, it just means to slightly boil, just for 5 minutes in a saucepan, and then stick them in their own frying pan to fry. But yeah, that's what we're going to do first. And to finish it off, we're going to put a couple of fried eggs on top of the dish. That really does set it off, because that's kind of your sauce, if you like, the egg yolk. It's amazing. It's amazing. And throughout the whole process, we're just going to add in some mixed herbs as we're cooking in the frying pans. But yeah, that's basically it. You got your meat, potatoes, and eggs. It's a very simple recipe. It's very easy to cook. It's a bit time consuming, but it's literally the most amazing thing that will go in your mouth, I promise you. So yeah, after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel some potatoes, chop them up and dice them into sort of cubes or slices, and then I'm going to put them on to parboil. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a small or medium-sized saucepan and brought it up to the boil with water. So what I'm going to do is I've also just chopped my potatoes here, and as you can see, they're in chunks. You know, that's all you need really. I'm going to call them chunks. There, you can have slices, you can have dices, whatever you want to call them. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your chunks of potato now into the boiling water. What I'm going to do is just going to put my timer on for 5 minutes on my oven, so when that goes off I know. I'm just going to chuck them in and let them boil just for 5 minutes. It's called parboiling, just to soften them up a little bit. Then we're going to stick them straight in the frying pan. While these are parboiling, just going to give this rinse off. Okay, there's a knife. We can start cutting up all our meat. So I'm going to take a sort of a small size mixing bowl or just some sort of container. So that's me trying to be flashy. Spin. I don't know why I do that. I spin things. Anyway, so what I tend to do is, for each person that you cook this meal for, obviously as usual I'm cooking for 2.5. So what I'm going to do is, per person, 2 sausages, 2 rashers of bacon, 1 pork loin or medallion or pork chop, whatever you want to call it, and then usually you'd have sort of 1 cylindrical bit of ham off the bone, or slice at Tesco's or wherever, and that would do for 2 people. So this is what I'm going to be doing per person. For the viewers of you that are on Slimming World, fat off the bacon, any fat off the pork and the ham. Sausages you'll have to sin unless you get the Slimming World friendly sausages, but this is actually a pretty easy going meal on Slimming World, providing you use Frylight instead of oil, and like I said with the sausages as well, you can do this for pretty much free, I think, this meal, which is good because it's a really filling meal, and it feels like you're eating bad food. It feels like junk food because it's that good, but it's actually, I say, you can do it for free on Slimming World. I'm going to use a little bit of oil today, and I've got some sort of bad sausages, full fat sausages. So this particular meal that I'm making today isn't Slimming World friendly, but you can make it Slimming World friendly. So what I'm going to do now, while the potatoes are parboiling, 3 minutes left on the timer, I'm literally just going to dice all of these bits of meat. Again, they can go in the same mixing bowl or container because it's from the same animal pretty much. Probably not the exact same animal, but all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut all of these bits into, I'm going to dice them or chunk them, as I like to say with the potatoes. I'm going to chunk my meat, so they're all going to end up, all these bits are going to end up like that. I'm just going to chuck them in. I'm probably going to do like the chop first, then the bacon and the sausages, and 1 sausage and the ham and the other sausage. Mix it up a little bit, mix it up when it goes in the bowl. But so that's for 1 person. That seems like a lot, and you'll probably get a couple of helpings out of it, but trust me, I can't wait for this. You're going to absolutely love it. Anyway, that's this part. It's parboil the potatoes. While they're parboiling, cut up the meat. Okay, so my potatoes finished parboiling after 5 minutes, so I've just drained them through a colander. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take our big frying pan. So I should have probably explained at the beginning what you're going to need for today. You're going to need a large frying pan, a small frying pan, Exhibit A, Exhibit B, some spoony spatula thingies, and obviously a small to medium saucepan for the potatoes, and a mixing bowl / container for your meat, cutting board, knife, scissors. I am using scissors to cut the sausages because cutting sausages with a knife is a nightmare. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the large frying pan and Frylight. Actually, I lied because I said I'm going to use oil, didn't I? So I'll use a splash of oil. Actually, using the oil for the potatoes is much better than using Frylight, just because they tend to fry better. So, just going to drizzle some oil on there and then put that on the heat on a low to medium. Let that heat up. While that is heating up, I'm going to continue cutting my meat. Like I said, I literally just had a couple of minutes there to show you what to do. And now we are going to transfer the potatoes to the frying pan and continue cutting the meat. So the frying pan that we're putting the potatoes into, you're going to use for the meat. Once the potatoes are done, I'm just going to set the potatoes to one side while we cook the meat, and then we'll add the potatoes back in at the end. Similar to what we did with the Thai stir fry, where we cooked the beans first, left them to one side, and then brought them back in. Exactly the sort of same things we're doing, but with the potatoes this time. So mix that up a little bit. Okay, now that's cooking. Actually, I'm going to put on a lower heat actually, and I'm just going to add my potatoes in. And give them a good mix around so they get oil on them. Again, simming well, people. Frylight. You need to put a fair bit of Frylight in because you obviously want the potatoes to fry and crisp up, and then once the potatoes are in, you want to give them a layer on top as well. I'm sure you've fried potatoes before. Meanwhile, I'm just going to continue cutting my meat. Like I said, this was my setup for one person. I'm going to sit with that. That is still one person. Trust me, you want more of this, so you'll never cook enough. My wife is forever saying to me, you didn't cook enough Gröstl. And I'm thinking, God, the heck, that took me half an hour to cut up all that meat. But, you know, it's a meal that, trust me, it might look a lot, but you're going to want seconds. So yeah, I've just cut up enough for one person. Obviously, like I said, I've got the wifey and Junior, who he eats more than I do, believe me. So I'm going to carry on cutting some more meat up while the potatoes continue to fry. Okay, so I've been frying these potatoes now for about 5, 6, 7 minutes. Haven't really been keeping count, but just until they go sort of a brown on the outside there and a bit crispy. Perfect. And I've cut up all my meat as well. As you see there, I've got a whole mixing bowl full, or half full, of meat. So I'm just going to take these off the heat, actually put them back in the saucepan that they boiled in, rather than dirty up. Some more stuff. There we go. There we go. I'm just going to leave them to one side. I'm just going to quickly just brush out this pan. There we go. And I'm going to add another squirt of oil / Frylight if you prefer. Get that nice and wet on the edges. And all I'm going to do now is just stick all of this lovely cut, chopped, diced, whatever you want to call it, meat square into the pan. Yeah. All of the meat. So this This is for 2 people. A lot for 2 people. Alright, so now you just sit back and keep sort of stirring the meat periodically over the next sort of 10 minutes. Don't worry about the potatoes, you're going to bring them back once that meat starts to cook. But yeah, quick recap. So we peeled some potatoes, parboiled them for 5 minutes, got them out, put them into a frying pan, fried them off so they're looking nice and golden and crispy. You can always try one as well. Perfect, they're pretty much done. So then we've cut up all the meat while the potatoes were... Sorry, that was hot. We've cut up all the meat while the potatoes were frying. And now it's the meat's turn to fry. Again, I'm just going to sort of turn and flip this every sort of minute or so for the next 5 to 10 minutes until all that meat is cooked and gone white. But good for now. Okay, as you can see, the meat is cooking very nicely in the pan. I've just knocked the heat down to low. I'm going to continue stirring it. I've also, what I did was, a couple of minutes ago, I just added a little bit of mixed herbs in there to cook it through. But it's been cooking now for 8 minutes. So all I've done is just stirred it. And all I'm going to do now is, now the meat is pretty much cooked. You can see the sausage meat has gone brown on the outside, and the pork as well. I just want to give that a chunk of one a cut up just to make sure. But again, we're still going to be cooking this for another couple of minutes, so it doesn't matter if it's not completely done yet. Some sausage meat as well. Sausage meat is pretty much done. I mean, they're only small bits, so they don't take a lot anyway. And the pork as well is done. So the meat is pretty much ready to go now. So we're just going to bring the potatoes back and mix them all in. And also, just going to put another load. So I did 1 load of this mixed herbs already. I'm just going to do another load now. Just lightly dust the top. So 2 helpings of mixed herbs over the whole process is plenty. Mix it all in nicely, don't drop too much. I'm just going to let that simmer away. Done with this saucepan now. But what we are going to do is we're going to bring our small frying pan into action. Again, I'm making fried eggs here. Sim World people, you want to make fried eggs with Frylight, go ahead. I, however, have to use oil for my eggs. Just have to. Right. Now, we have done fried eggs before. And you know I'm a little bit weird about them. Low heat. Let the heat up for a minute. So that's the next process, is the eggs. So we're nearly done now. We've cooked the meat, we've cooked the potatoes. This main saucepan here is good to go, pretty much. We are just now cooking it through properly, making sure browning off the meat, browning off the potatoes, and let it all sort of mix together with the mixed herbs, and cooking those mixed herbs to give it a really nice flavour. And in the meantime, just going to put these eggs and fry them and have a little bit of a clear up. Alright, so we're almost ready to go here. Just got my fried eggs here, which again I'm going to continue to lift. It's, I don't know, is this weird? Someone tell me if this is weird what I do with the eggs. I just don't like them burning underneath. No one else seems to care, but I do. So, eggs nearly done. Again, the meat is, we knew that's done anyway. It's just starting to catch on the pan, which is a good indication that this is now completely done. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it off the heat. Dish. Oh, dish up, look at this. Wonderful. How are my eggs? Perfect. Just starting to burn. Stick that on the top there. And take that off the heat. So this is for, like I said, 2.5 people, because the boy is now eating nearly as much as I am, so that is pretty much perfect. There's not much left in the pan. Come on, egg. There you go, on the top. So there you have it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Gröstl, and it is the most amazing dish you'll ever taste. Now, what I like to do here is I like to get my egg and I like to pierce it all the way through, and then sometimes even flip it over as well, and just keep piercing it, because then the yolk will run through the meat and the potatoes. Wow, I can't wait. Missy's gonna love this. She doesn't know I'm cooking it, so she's gonna get well and truly surprised by this. The smell is just phenomenal. It's just an amazing smell. I can't stress enough how you need to make this. Like you just said, it doesn't take too long. The more people you're doing it for, the more meat you have to cut up. That's the long part, is cutting up the meat. But if you do it all strategically, like I've done it, it's no time at all. I mean, this has taken me what, just over half an hour roughly to get this from start to finish, and yeah, ready to go. And I am gonna be. Oh, I've got to go. I've got to eat this. I can't wait. I've left nothing on that plate, and I know that the wifey came down from working upstairs, smelling the Gröstl, and she helped herself and she's cleared me out. So I'm gonna have to make some more for tonight's dinner. Oh well. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you've made this. Please do. This is a game changer. You'll cook this meal and you'll love it. I promise you. It's amazing. It smells and just tastes lovely. Just as a side note, my wife, she adds ketchup onto it. She loves the ketchup. She'd have it with her cereal if she could. So she adds ketchup to it. I don't. I sometimes add an extra egg, and 2 yolks. There's enough sauce that I need there. But as I say, you can add whatever you want into it. But it's so flavourful. You don't really need to add anything else in. It's a really good meal, and it fills you up. It's one of the. It's a little bit more expensive. You'll see on the next slide that I'm going to put in that it is a little bit more expensive, but it is so worth it. It's really nice. So I'm going to crack on, and I'm going to cook enough for us for tonight as well, because like I said, that goes down well in our household, and I hope it does yours too. Please send me pictures. Let me know if you're doing this, and trust me, you won't be disappointed. You'll be thanking me that I've shown you this video on Gröstl. So thanks so much for joining me again. I'll try and come back and do something next week, but like I said, technical issues at the moment. I don't even know how long this is going to take to edit and put up onto YouTube. So yeah, we'll have to grin and bear it at the moment, but thanks so much for watching this, and I'll catch you next time. Stay safe.